and welcome to math class. So, we're going to have geometry on April 14th, 2020. We're talking about segment lengths in circles. We got three different kinds we're going to talk about. Secants intersecting inside of a circle, secants and tangents, which will obviously be outside because tangents can only be outside of a circle, and then what happens when two secants intersect outside of a circle. For the homework assessments, all the stuff this week, since we are still on remote instruction, your homework assignment is posted. It's on Delta Math, and you have a quiz on CudaWorks. So please make sure you should be registered for both of those websites. I know some of you are not. Please make sure that's getting fixed, especially for our friend CudaWorks here. Hope you guys all had a nice little break. Actually took some time off. Let's get started. We're going to talk first about what happens when two chords or a secant and secant intersect inside of the circle. That's going to look just about like this. Move that up just a little bit. So I've got two segments. We'll label those A and B. We've got the other two on C and D. The important thing to know here and notice is that your A and B are on the same segment and C and D are on the same segment. So it doesn't matter which ones get the A and B, C and D, so long as A and B are on the same segment and C and D are on the same segment. So we'll go ahead and label A as my X, B is 8, C will be 12, D will be 10. No major science involved with that. We're going to just utilize this lovely formula up here, AB equals CD. Kind of a proportionality thing going on. So our AB equals CD tells me that X times 8 equals 12 times 10. Doing some basic simplification, don't overcomplicate it. It's still just algebra. So 8x in this case is going to equal 120. You guys know how to solve this out. We'll take it and divide both sides by 8 to get the x by itself. And we should get that x is, and just remind you, over to our good old friend Desmos, 120. Division signs here, 8 gives me 15. So x in this case, 15. If you get stuck, go to the calculator. Basic algebra skills. Don't try to make this more than it is. It's just your basic algebra skills, so keep that in mind. Two more problems. Got the formulas there for you. A and B do make a little bit of a difference here in C. So looking at the picture, notice that the C is outside of the circle here, and it's on the tangent, which is the one all by itself. So we're going to label 6C. A and B, straight in order here. A is outside and B is inside. So we'll label that A and B. You make a sketch of this. It doesn't have to be super fancy. Simple circle with something drawing off and going back through. It doesn't have to be proportional. 6, 4, and X if you guys are doing this on your own. Make a sketch. Give yourself something to work with so that you can draw down these A, B, and C. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need to bust out a compass or hold down a can to make a perfect circle. Just give yourself a quick sketch. It'll make your lives a lot easier. So, plugging in. C squared means that I've got 6 squared, and that equals A, which is 4 times a parenthesis. A, 4 again, plus B, and there's my X. All right. So from here, folks, we've got to do a couple things. First off, we're going to take 6 squared, and we know 6 squared, or you can calculator it, but 6 squared is 36. Equal sign still stays. We're going to distribute that 4 into both parts. 4 times 4 is, of course, 16. 4 times x gives me 4x. Don't get over confused on this. Don't overcomplicate. We're just back to 1 and 2 step algebra here. So I'm going to go and subtract my 16 off both sides. I get to 20 equals 4x. Last step, of course, divide both sides by, let's see, green. Divide both sides by 4. Make the 4 look a little bit more like a 4 on that side. cancels out, and I should get that x is 5. Last but certainly not least, longest, then I'll just okay, that was weird. But anyway, and we're back. So, last but not least, I've got secant, secant. That is where I've got two segments. They intersect outside the circle here. Labeling is going to be super important here. It doesn't matter top or bottom, but A and C are on the outside, and A and B are on our same segment as before. C and D, same idea. C on the outside, D on the inside. Sorry to say, there's not a big shortcut on this particular problem. This is one of those you have to just kind of do it to its content, and it'll work. So A times parenthesis A plus B equals C times parenthesis C plus D. Plugging in, I've got 7 times parenthesis 7 plus X. And that's going to equal 6 times the parenthesis 6 plus 15. Now the right-hand side, this being all numbers, if I were you, I would just take this straight over to my calculator. 6 parenthesis 6 plus 15. Don't even mess around with anything. You've got Desmos right here. Just go straight to it. Make sure it looks exactly like the formula should. And you've got 126. So 126 there. On the right, yeah, you're going to have to do the distribution again. I know you guys can handle this. Or on the left, sorry. Distribute that on through, and you've got 49 here plus 7x. You guys know what's coming next. We got to solve the algebra. Two-step equation work here. Take minus 49 off both sides. We'll go ahead and work that over here. We should just be able to hit minus 49. And it'll give us 77. So 7x equals 77. I don't think we're even going to need the calculator for the last part. Set that up, divide both sides by 7. And of course, that gives us x is 11. All right, so next 3 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, we will have Zoom office hours from 10 to 11 and again from 2 to 3. Hope to see some of you guys there. And thank you so much for playing along. Have a great day, everybody.